Rosetta and the Design of Ligand Binding Sites is a chapter from Computational Design of Ligand Binding Proteins that goes over Rocco Moretti and others' workflow for ligand docking. On the left, there's a summary of their workflow directly from the chapter. And in the methods section of this chapter, they go into really thorough detail on the technical aspects and even provide some commands and code that they use. But I'm just going to touch on a few of the main points from this methodology. They begin with structure preparation, and then following that, they input the protein coordinate file and ligand conformer file into the process, and they start with ligand placement. They use a visual platform, and they suggested Biol for locating desired docking sites and then manually placing the structure in its assumed docking position. You can see in figure 2, the gray area in the upper right is the score of the interface score and the total score after just that initial visual placement. We'll get more into that figure in a minute. But after they have it manually placed, they go through sequence and sidechain optimization. They created a docking and design script, and they suggested to base yours off of Rosetta ligand docking using the Rosetta scripts framework. In short, this optimizes the ligand position, it reconfigures the interface residues, and then also it better resolves the energetics of the interactions at the interface. They go on to run Rosetta design, and that outputs numerous PDB files, both good and bad, as well as a summary score file. Now, if we take a look back over at figure 2, you see these scores come into play again. The improvement from the initial placement, which we talked about being manual and visual, to the results of this docking using Rosetta design are really major. So just that alone has a big impact on improving the scores. But they go on then to filter the design's output based on what they call initial metrics, which are desired properties of the final design. And they suggest a number of these in the methods section. And then they create a file that specifies the threshold for each initial metric, and they filter the docking results based on that. They then go on to supplement the initial metrics with more computed by Rosetta's interface analyzer, and they repeat that filtering process only on the pre-filtered collection of structures. And they suggest iterating through that process as additional metrics and their thresholds are generated. And that gets them to this blue section, which is more of the final design structures. And again, you see an even bigger improvement in both the interface and total score on average. And manual inspection, of course, is recommended, and they say that that should be done visually, and iterative optimization can, of course, then be continued with this process.